I am Bill Blume, author of Gideon's Hunt, the first novel in the young adult Gideon Keep Vampire Hunter series, and I'm here today as part of the blog tour known as the My Writing Process. I was tagged to do this by a good friend of mine, Shauna Christos, who's working on several manuscripts of her own. She had a short story published last year in the anthology called Rivertown. Part of the reason I'm doing this as a video and not typing it out, by the way, would be because of this. Unfortunate event. It occurred about a week or two ago while helping move a filing cabinet up some stairs. It objected to this grievously. That said, let's get to the first of the four questions. Question number one. What am I working on? Well, I'm currently working on the sequel to Gideon's Hunt, which is tentatively titled Gideon's Blood. The pitch for the first novel was for Gideon Keep hunting vampires is easy. It's high school that might kill him. Well, the second book will definitely up the stakes for Gideon. In that book, it's going to be Gideon getting chased down by a vampire who specializes in killing vampire hunters. So this will certainly lead to a lot of chaos. Question number two. How does my work differ from others of its genre? Well, it focuses on the hunter for one. Most vampire novels these days really want to take the vampire and make them the main character, the big, cool, awesome element to it. Frankly, I find the vampire hunter a lot more fascinating. What kind of guy does it take to hunt a monster? And for Gideon, I like the fact that I don't give him any special powers. He's not like, got some mystical abilities. He's just a smart kid who uses his wits to outwit the vampires. And I think that makes him even cooler than the average hunter that you have out there in fiction these days. Question number three. Why do I write what I do? Part of the reason I write what I do is because, I have always found vampires kind of fascinating. But again, the hunter, the guy who goes after that, that's just really cool. But for me, the other inspiration comes from my two children. I have a 14-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son, both of whom are very good readers. And as they have entered into these, the teenage years, as their son's getting there, they're starting to read some of the fiction in the young adult market. I'm finding a lot of it really is targeted toward the girls, and it's a really complicated issue, and you can't pin it really on any one element that comes into play there. That's a whole other blog entry, by the way. But I really wanted my story, by the time it was all said and done, to be something my son would be able to enjoy. And that was part of why I was writing that novel, and why I'm working on the sequel. Question number four. How does my writing process work? Yes, let's discuss that. You see, I wanted to do something a little unusual. I thought maybe I'd do a word here and here and here and here and here and here, and just random order and throw them together, and I would come up with something really unusual. It'd be like, unfortunately, it came out more like Yoda. Hunt vampires, big bad monsters they are, and sharp weapons Gideon will destroy them with. It didn't really work so well, so I stick with one word after another. It seems to work well. Okay. In all seriousness, I plant my butt in the chair and get it done. I typically will go to a cafe because at that point I've made a financial investment. I've, bought a coffee at a minimum, and I've used gas. I've put mileage on my car to get to where I'm going, and frankly, that is a good motivator to make sure I put some words on the screen. If I don't do that, I have wasted time and money, and that's not good. That's what helps get me to get the job done. Alright, so now it's my turn to tag three other authors, and let's take a look at who they are. So I'm tagging three of my fellow authors with Fable Press. First up, Gillian Kuhlman. Her debut fantasy novel was The Hidden Icon. I'm also tagging urban fantasy author Margarita Gakis of the Covencraft series. And last but not least, B.N. Malden, author of the sci-fi novel Belligerent. Hope you've enjoyed this. Feel free to check out more about what I've written and some of the things that motivate me as a writer by visiting billblume.net. And if you'd like to catch me in person, if you're crazy enough to want to do that, you can find me at RavenCon later this month. That'll be April 25th through 27th. I'll be speaking on many panels, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for joining me.